I'm just gonna check and make sure this is a real story before I fucking start reading the whole thing. Because I've seen my fair share of copy pastas back in my day. Okay. It seems pretty real. Okay. Cigarette scented jar, bloody tissues, and Mormons. Here we go. Girls can't be depressed, that's a myth. Show us a picture. This girl did not send a picture of herself. Cock her balls. I'm a balls guy myself. Call me gay, but I just love balls, baby. Hey. Skip if no pic. Loser guys are supposed to send in the pics of the cutie pies who they've ruined their reputations trying to date. I don't expect all of these depressed girls to send pictures of themselves. Okay, let's jump into it. Back in high school, I dated a girl online who lived over in the UK. She was the first person I ever dated, and for a time, I seriously thought that this woman was going to be the person I spend my entire life with, as we had been in a relationship for over 2 years, and every day we would talk to each other. However, I already knew about red flags in our relationship, as whenever I wanted to talk to her seriously about any plans for the future, she would refuse to talk to me about them and want to continue making jokes or role-playing. About a year into our relationship, I took a class trip just to see her since London was one of the destinations. I met her in person and spent about 2 hours with her, where I shared my first kiss with her in the Buckingham Gardens. The night before my class left London, I was sobbing in the hotel bathroom texting her. I was worried that I was never going to see her again, but she reassured me that one day we'd be joking about this night during our wedding day. About a year after that, there were lots of rocky bumps to our relationship that I continued to want to talk to her about, but she would never be willing to want to help me fix the problems I saw, and that she ignored. I asked her if we could just pause our relationship so we could cool down from all the fighting we had been doing, and since I seriously wanted to marry her one day, I was curious about the world and wanted to experience other forms of love before I'd settle down with her. She refused the idea, and I never had the courage or heart to ever break up with someone. I didn't want to break up with her in the first place, but I didn't know what to do. Around New Year's of senior year, my head went into a haze. I think I psychologically had repressed a lot of the things I did that month because I cheated on her with a person from my group of friends. I forgot to take a guilty sip of water. Oh, gadzooks! Anyway. I cheated on her with a person from my group of friends before she had already accused me of cheating on her when I hadn't. How can... These long-distance bitches are really accusing of cheating these days? And when she heard the news, she thought I had sex with the person, which I also hadn't. I watched the video of her crying on her couch, crying to me, asking me why I did it through intense sobs. I watched it every day for weeks as it slowly chipped away at my psyche and encouraged a little voice in my head that said I watched the video of her crying on her couch, crying to me, asking me why I did it through intense sobs. And I read the same line twice. I watched it every day for weeks as it slowly chipped away at my psyche and encouraged the little voice in my head that said that I was an irredeemable monster. On prom night, I sat in a field near the park and I watched couples taking photos, and I just sobbed for hours out there. Before graduation, the guilt that had been building up and the pressure of not knowing what I wanted to do with my life after high school built up, so I attempted suicide a few days before graduation. I took an entire bottle of pain medication and went to bed. My parents had woken me up, calling me down to the living room as they said that they had read my texts telling my friend that I wanted to kill myself. I was so numbed by the medication, and I made a half-assed attempt at reassuring them that they were all poorly made jokes. They somehow bought the idea and let me go back to sleep, as I truly thought I was dying in those moments. Before, I didn't think that my family had cared about me, yet I was sobbing in my bed, regretting what I did to myself. so I knocked out, thinking that I was going to die. In the morning after, I woke up, rushing to the bathroom, and vomited all of the white powdery pills I had taken. The days after, I suffered the repercussions of taking that many pills, as just everything hurt all of the time, yet no one noticed. I remember I had asked the teacher if I could see the nurse, almost admitting when I did, but when I went to the nurse's office, the nurse was busy dealing with an autistic kid's panic attack and told me to wait. I waited for about an hour before I left. After graduating, I signed up to go to a community college that I'm in my second year in. The 6 months I spent after that were the darkest and most loneliest months I had lived, as I spiraled down into a rabbit hole of madness. I had stopped talking to my friends and obviously dumped the dude I cheated on Ashley with. I focused on her, and I came to conclusions that I could only be happy with her. She blocked me on everything, and so I made an alternate Discord account and pretended to be another person, as I was just so happy to hear the little quirks in her texts. I made a whole alternate identity, even texting her with odd typing quirks so she wouldn't be suspicious or notice my tone in conversations. Every day that I drove to and from school, I imagined Ashley unconscious and sitting in the passenger side of my car, and that would bring a small smile to my face as I slowly got the courage to sing along to the radio. I'm normally very soft-spoken in conversations, so even singing along to a radio was a bold thing for me to do vocally. The day that we met, I had even collected a tissue of her blood, as she wore new shoes when she met me and her heels bled, and I had to be there to wipe off the blood and give her a band-aid. That tissue was the centerpiece of the altar I made to dedicate to her, with a jar of love notes she gave me that had her scent on it. On special days that I wanted to relax, I would quickly open the jar and take a big inhale of the cigarette scent, then quickly close it as not to lose the jar smell. Near the end of those 6 months, I joined a Discord group and made the first friend I had in ages. For the first time in months, I met someone who had actually made me smile from just talking to them, who wasn't Ashley. A few months later, on the alternate account, I felt strong enough to tell Ashley that it was me, and I told her again how sorry I was about everything. She told me if I really was sorry, I wouldn't have ever talked to her ever again, and blocked the account. Yet for the first time in months, I felt hopeful that if I was happy when talking to other people, maybe I didn't need to rely on one person anymore. Yet the guilt still slowly ate me up, and I met another guy on the server that I liked talking to, and so we started to date after a lot of pushing his way, and I told him my feelings on my guilt, and he didn't call me a monster for it. He helped raise me up a lot, and until he started to distance himself away from me a few months after. He dumped me, and a while after, he told me he was going to be baptized to be a Mormon. I remember months ago helping him on the feelings he had about his dead mother, and when he told me that God had told him that stuff instead, it broke my heart. And so my old habits came back, and I harassed him that I didn't want him to leave me now how she had. I even offered to join his faith just so we could continue to still be together, but he declined the offer and blocked me everywhere. The loop continued, where I had met another guy who told me what I wanted to hear. He told me how crap Mormons and Christians were and how I deserved better. Ironically, his name was Moses. I'd change the names as to not dox him, but honestly, fuck him. He drove up to see me a month later when I agreed to date him, and I remember how he would talk about how his ex was suing him for rape, and I believed him when he said he didn't do the things she said he did. I showed him around my city, the thing I dreamed about doing with Ashley years back, and those 3 days felt like some of the happiest days of my life just because I felt as though someone I cared about genuinely loved me. I told him all of the things prior and about how afraid I was to be abandoned by another ex, and he promised me that he would never do that to me. I remember sleeping in the hotel. I was exhausted from all of the walking around, and he started to make out with me in my sleep, touching my breasts, etc. I felt uncomfortable at the time, but at the same time, I told him it was okay just for the fact that I was so happy that I felt loved and like someone truly loves me again. He did other things to me too that I didn't feel okay with, but as to keep this brief, it was my first time doing sexual things with someone. He knew this, and he came twice, and I came no times. Well, get used to that, sister. A few weeks later, after he left, I told him about how uncomfortable I felt about it, and he got all defensive about it. I never intended to sue him or anything about it. I only wanted to let him know how I felt, but a few weeks later he dumped me and excused it over the fact that he was too stressed about the legal things with his ex at the moment. Thinking that after all of that stuff was done with, he'd be more happy than continue to date me, I waited happily for him, and yet he slowly started to stop talking to me. Every time I asked him why he was doing that, he would never answer, and slowly after time, he blocked me on everything but Instagram. I sent him a text a week ago telling him how I felt about everything and that I wasn't happy about how poorly he'd treated any of my feelings. Thinking that things have cooled down since then, I told him that if he ignores the message, then I'll take that as a sign that he really has been using me for this whole relationship. But if he doesn't, then maybe at least he has a shred of human decency. It's been a week, and all I've gotten is that he's read the message. In hindsight, maybe it was for the best that I didn't continue to rekindle that spark, as he had been being a lot more reckless in his drinking and drug using habits, and that I just might be able to catch a fish better than a balding 24-year-old. Here's the good ending to my story, however. I go to college right now and I'm studying to be a psychologist so that I can help people who are in ruts that were similar to mine. I've been doing more community work and I've gotten back in touch with my Mormon ex and have somewhat made bygones be bygones with him. I made another alternate Discord account and contacted Ashley after almost a year and told her how much better that I've gotten. How much we've changed as people over this time, and that I just wanted to catch up with her, let bygones be bygones with her, and just be friends. She texted back, lol, no, and blocked the account, and I felt happy in that moment. I didn't feel weighed down with any unhealthy feelings about her anymore. I don't blame her for blocking me, as she still possibly sees me as some baby eater that wants to kill her or some overblown stereotype like that. I gave her the chance to have a rational mind and think that after a solid year I've moved on, but since that isn't the case, that's that. I know I still have a psychopathic mind when it comes to the people that I've dated dumping me, but I've been trying my best to get better at it. I've been currently dating another man for the past few weeks, and I've made it clear that I have boundaries and that I also have abandonment issues when it comes to love. I've been learning to take baby steps when coming to letting myself get comfortable around another person and giving them my full trust, as even Ashley would used to tell me that I was too easy to trust someone and that I was a doormat. Hopefully with time, I'll get better at being able to love myself more and love others in healthier ways. But to do that, I think I'll have to consult a therapist and make lots of steps to get better. So, cheers to the future. What a whore. Women in Europe. Yeah. Based as fuck, Ashley. Where can I meet her? I don't know if I like that coming from an account called I Hate Sheeps. It's a little too on the nose. Oof. Spicy Salts wants to gargle on Millie Bobby Brown's urine. Okay. How can I send you my story? Send them to thedepressionchamber@gmail.com. Can you believe I snagged that one? Nobody else had taken it yet. I can't believe it. Can we get a fuck you, Ashley, in the chat? That seems to be the motto of this show. Yudo says, I can't believe Mumkey is about to turn 30. He still looks so young. It's strange to think that 90% of his sperm are already gone. 97% by the time he turns 40. So I hope he thinks about having kids before it's too late. He'd be a fun mum. If you're gonna copy the tweet, you gotta at least change mum to dad, right? You changed eggs to sperm, why would I be a fun mom? God damn it. Mumkey is a boomer, that's right. Should we do one more? I gotta find another one that has an image attached so I can see some cutie pie girls. This guy sent 2 videos in a sketch. What the fuck is this? Okay. He sent a picture of his cutie pie, which just looks like generic half white, half Asian girl. What are these videos? I don't want to download them. Well, I guess we don't have a choice. My email won't even... Oh, no, there it goes. It wasn't even going to let me download it. Okay, you guys might be able to hear this. Oh, it's him dressed as the Joker. Oh, I can't wait to hear what this has to do in the story. Okay. And what's this other video before I play it for all of you? Okay. I guess we'll have to watch some videos. And I can show you this girl's photo, I assume. Because there's no Instagram attached to it. Okay. This guy says, don't read out my email address. Depressed over a girl, but then again, who hasn't? Hey, Jimmy. I got a depression case for you. So basically, this all started back in October when I found out this girl at school was having a Halloween party. So my lonely ass tried to get invited, and I did in the end. So a few days until I'm gonna go, and there's some girl who messages me on Discord and tried to talk me out of it. She gives me this whole routine on how I'm gonna ruin it, and it's gonna be hostile if I'm gonna be there, because I'm a right-wing American who lives in a leftist part of England and some other stuff, and that I need to put other people before me. It was pretty clear sheets trying to discourage me from going, to I told her I'm going no matter what. So I start talking to my friend about this girl who we hate, and how if she's there I'll try and get her to give me head. So I decide I'm gonna rack up to that party, dresses up as Heath Ledger's Joker, fully dressed, all decked out with everything. So I show up there, and I'm standing there like a fucking lemon for 15 minutes, realizing almost everyone else is in black or not dressed up at all. Until some guy comes in dressed as Nightwing, Robin from Batman, but when he grows up. And we hung out for most of the night. Joker, Nightwing, they're mortal enemies! Why would they be friends at a party? After a while, I walked past some girl I knew from school, so I asked if I knew her and began talking with her. Me and that guy hung with her and her friends for most of the time after that. So we're all in the living room and we're dicking around, and someone mentioned Magic Mike, and I took initiative and started stripping in front of like 5 or 6 girls on the couch. Keep this in mind for later. So then I get into a rap battle with that guy from earlier, did my basic routine of insulting his mom, calling him a premature ejaculator, etc. Then Sicko Mode came on, and towards the end of that song, this chick asked if I want to dance with her, while Drake's verse on Sicko Mode is playing. So I actually say yes to her, and we slow dance. Call her B for now. So B and I dance until she leaves, and the music changes, and I see that girl from earlier. So I ask if she wants to dance, and she actually says yes. So me and that girl dance for like a minute, and we move on with the night. I then started to hit on B towards the end of the night because she seemed interested, and instead told me to try my chances with that other girl I danced with. I'll call her J. So she sends me J's Instagram, and I started talking to her. She saw a post on my story about how I danced with 2 girls, and she says she was happy to dance with me. So I began thinking I have a chance with this girl. So I start talking to her a little more, and she's telling me about how she broke up with her boyfriend. So I try to be there for her. 2 days after I started talking to her, I asked her if she liked anyone at the moment, and she said she actually got back with her ex. Fuck. So played it cool and asked how she got back together with him, stuff like that. I continued talking to her and started to talk to her a little bit at school. On Thursday, one of her friends came up to me and asked if I liked Jay. I said what because I didn't hear the question at first, but my mind processed it shortly after, to which I gave her no response. The next day I messaged her asking who her friend was who has asked that question. She told me who it was and that people had been saying that Man, this must have been written by a 14-year-old. The writing and the story in general is just fucking horrible. Been saying that I liked Jay. I knew that I have only told 3 people at school I liked her, B from earlier, a New Zealand kid, and another girl I'm friends with. So she asked me if I did have a crush on her. I said yes. She said that's okay and that we're still friends. That's good, I guess. But then I saw her public Snap story today and I saw her holding hands with her boyfriend. I was kinda pissed at it since I wanted to be the one holding her hand. I know she didn't do anything wrong and I have nothing against her or that guy. She's the best friend I have in England right now. That's why the writing is so shit. This is a fucking teenager in England. I'm depressed that I'm never gonna be the one for her and I'm just lost. Anyway, thanks for reading this. If you have, I attached 3 files if I'm right. A picture of her that I'd rather you didn't show on stream, a video of me stripping, and a video of me rap battling. The latter 2 sent to me by that girl I liked. Have fun, fella. P.S. Epstein didn't kill himself. Well, he doesn't want me to show the picture of the girl. I wonder if I should at least listen to the rap battle, right? Let's see if we can listen to this rap battle. I'm going to turn the desktop audio up all the way, so you might want to adjust your headphones accordingly. Here we go.
I don't know how to do this, but you look like this. You look at your toe. Your mum's still at home.
He's thinking.
Did you? I fucked my teacher. I saw your mom working at the corner.
Keep going.
That's what she said.
Very funny.
If that's what high school parties were like, I'm glad I didn't fucking go to them. This is more cringe than the kid who stayed at home jerking off to My Little Pony. This is a fucking disgusting nightmare. What the fuck? You have to see the video of this to really appreciate how bad it is. Let's see if I can display capture. Which display is it going to show? Is it going to show you guys yourselves, or is it going to... Yeah, it's going to show you yourselves. Okay, let's... we got to drag this over. You guys have to see this fucking horrible garbage. And I gotta change display capture to 1. That's the secret. There we go. Okay, you guys gotta see this shit for yourselves.
I don't know how to do this, but you look like this. You look at your toe. Your mum's still at home.
He's thinking.
Did you? I fucked my teacher. I saw your mom working at the corner.
Keep going.
That's what she said.
Very funny.
Is there a worse form of human than a British teenager? Absolutely fucking degenerate and disgusting. I hate every single person at that party. and his story was fucking dog shit. If you're subscribed to me, please unsubscribe. Hashtag get fucked. I am upset that I had to sit through that, and I punished all of you because I cannot punish this child. Horrible. If that's what the Zoomer generation is truly like, we are, well, I guess we're not fucked. Britain is fucked. Enjoy Brexit, kids. You guys are now an isolationist country, and those are the people who are going to be running shit soon. Well, I'm a Christian because I have seen hell. Yeah, we've all been there. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Nobody else sent in a Rice Krispie story. I'm ashamed of all of you. Okay, I know I said that would probably be the last one, but I can't end it on such a sour note, because that was just the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. We've got one from a trans girl called My Shitty Sexually Abusive Ex. You guys want to end it on that note? Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. One. You guys want to hear about a trans girl who got sexually abused? What is wrong with you? You people are sick in the head. You're sick. I'm a trans gal. Don't worry, it's important to the story. In my junior year of high school, I dated a girl. We dated for a few months. She was abusive, but she did some good stuff for me. But this isn't her tape. Fuck off. Because of her previous friends, I use that word loosely, they treated me like garbage and we never even talked outside school, distanced themselves from me, and I started to realize that they were, in fact, pretty shit. So I decided to distance myself from them. Enter my ex. We started talking at the very end of my junior year after me and my first ex broke up. At first, everything was normal. We talked about depression and shit and how horrible our lives were. It wasn't long after that that my dumbass younger self decided that the two of us were in love and we started dating. Mind you, it's been like a month since we started talking. Anyway, I've got another blood red flag here. She was going away to some week-long camp and she told me that she probably wouldn't survive the week. Apparently, she had a history of this bullshit. She had been in and out of the hospital about 2 to 3 times and learned fucking nothing the entire time. As you might be able to guess at this point, she's a fucking nutcase. So unfortunately, she didn't kill herself over that weekend. But she did self-harm a lot, which I tried to talk her down from a lot. The crazy part is she didn't do sane person self-harming. She just scratched at her thighs like a fucking cat. Her thighs looked like pepperoni pizzas. So the honeymoon phase hit me super hard. It lasted for a long time and never really wore off, and I forgave a lot of fucked up shit. After homecoming, she pressured me into fingering her for a little bit, but I freaked out really quickly and she didn't try to push further. Another thing to keep in mind, at that time I was about 120 pounds and she was at least twice that, so she could overpower me really easily. I couldn't exactly say no and get away with it. That, and I didn't have any other friends, and I would rather kill myself than be that lonely again. Sounds like those thighs were an extra large pizza pie! I don't know if I can think of anything more disgusting than a teenage girl at 250 pounds with her thick fucking thighs just torn to shreds. You gotta stick your finger down there? Fuck that! Remember how I mentioned I was trans? Oh, how could I forget? Yeah, this is the part where that matters. The front half of my body was a huge no-no and would immediately cause me to freak the fuck out, and she knew that. So she never did. Anything else? Fair game. She loved grabbing my ass and inner thigh hard enough to make me jump or yelp, or, grab my taint just as hard. That's all fine, it's whatever, it's all behind closed doors, right? Well, it wasn't long until she started to use it as a humiliation tactic. She began to do it in public. We had one class together where we sat right next to each other. So we would be sitting in class quietly and I would randomly jump and the teacher would shoot me a dirty look. Maybe it wasn't even a dirty look. Maybe she knew what was going on and my genuine discomfort and pain. Or maybe she was angry at me for interrupting class. Probably the latter, all things considered. So aside from that, she was constantly forcing PDA. Sometimes I enjoyed it, but other times it felt awful. If I said no, I was a monster, the worst person ever. If she didn't want it, it was 100% fine and I was a bitch for even asking. That was the status quo for a while, until I randomly decided I wanted to break up. I wish I had stuck to my guns, but I didn't. The next day I cried and begged for her to take me back, and she was pissed. After some time, she took me back, but we frequently broke up and got back together until eventually deciding to just be friends. Honestly, I think at this point I knew how awful she was and that I didn't want anything to do with her, but I was too afraid of being alone to break it off. Anyway, we eventually decided to just be friends and nothing really changed aside from the sexual abuse stopping. The PDA was the same and the manipulation and shit was all the same too. Honestly, nobody even knew we had broken up until we told them. A month or so after officially breaking it off, my depression got bad enough that I decided in my mind that I wanted to cut. What do you do in that situation? Well, you go to your only lifeline and hope for support. Her response? She was pissed. She yelled at me so much. She was so angry about what a fucking idiot I was for even considering cutting and how much pain I was putting her through for even bringing it up. All she wanted for me was the best, and she put in all this effort to make me happier, and this is her thanks? Me being depressed and wanting to cut? I was such an awful friend. After that, she would grab my arm and forcefully roll my sleeves up every time she saw me. Nothing of note really happened for a few months until prom. Fuck prom. I ended up taking her as a friend because God knows I had nobody to take. So we went together in my car. This was my first time presenting female in public, so that was a really big deal for me, but of course, she was able to ruin that for me too. Every other person that goes into prom gets breathalyzed. Oh. And being the loser I am, I came up 100% clean. Hey, nothing wrong with drinking God's nectar. Ice water. Refreshing. For the troubles, they gave everyone that comes up clean a $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift card. So anyway, prom starts and we're doing our thing. Well, I say we, but she abandoned me the first moment she got, leaving me alone. I could have bailed, but I was her ride and she was my only friend, and I wasn't about to ruin that night, so I stayed the entire night. Alone. It was pretty awful, as you'd expect. That's just kinda par for the course behavior at this point. After all that, we drove home. We didn't talk much, and that was perfectly okay with me. Well, she did have one small request. She wanted my gift card. Uh-oh. What is she, an Indian text scammer? You fall for the refund scam? Your social security is about to get suspended? And by request, I mean scream at me until I gave it to her like the fucking child that she is. She just threw a fucking tantrum until I gave it to her. Honestly, I was probably going to give it to her anyway because I wasn't going to use it, but like, what the hell, man? Fast forward to my graduation, I forgot to mention she's a year below me. I was really miserable that day. It wasn't because I was sad to be leaving my high school, on the contrary, I was fucking elated, or anything, just a really shitty day. Even worse, cause my ex was still in my life at this point. So the entire time I was thinking about how I had self-harmed the night before. It was just eating me alive. I hated it, and I think I only did it once after that, but I did it, and that was all that mattered. So I did what any logical person would do. I told my ex about it. She was pissed. She went on and on about how I ruined her day, and how today was supposed to be fun, and oh, what a horrible person I was for having negative feelings that I couldn't control. Unfortunately, that was kinda it. After graduation, we didn't talk much, and she exploded at me randomly and just blocked me one day. So what's the damage? Well, I was left with borderline personality disorder, PTSD, and a host of other issues such as the inability to get close to anyone in a romantic way, the inability to express my emotions properly, a stunted emotional growth, and more. Thankfully, I was in an outpatient program when I was diagnosed with these and was able to get the proper help so I can manage these disorders, but she really did a number on my psyche. P.S. I wasn't sure where to put this, so here we are. She also had a habit of draining my bank account while promising to pay me back. That bitch owes me over $1,000, even more when you consider we were in high school. Okay. Well, I'll say this. I don't know the correct statistics, but I'm pretty sure the transgender suicide rate is what, like 40% or something crazy? So you, Miss Throwaway, do not be in that 40%, goddammit! You stay strong. You get the help you need. Don't cut. Don't die. I know life seems bullshit because you're still a teenager and you're trans and you didn't drop out, you just got out of high school. The future probably seems all dark and mysterious. But you stay fucking strong, my friend. Don't you fall into the wrong side of that statistic, or me in the chat will never forgive you. All you can think of is Norbit? That's horrendous. That's horrendous. Despite being 13%, uh-oh. Well, Mumkey started a podcast with Ben Saint. It will literally completely cure my depression. Well, I think that might be enough stories for tonight. We've still got hundreds and hundreds to go. And if you would like to hear your story read one day, you can submit it to thedepressionchamber@gmail.com. In the meantime, if you don't know for some reason, I have a YouTube channel, Simeon Jimmy. You can support the show at patreon.com/Mumkey. And most important of all, we're auctioning off the Mumkey Jones Silver Play Button 100,000 subscribers plaque. It comes with the box it came in and a letter signed by Susan herself. Beautiful. Bill Dora, thanks for the subscription. I know a proper auction would probably mean people bid, but maybe we'll do that one day. For now, I was just hoping somebody would send in a good bid privately and I would just accept it. But who knows what'll happen. Oh yeah, I'm selling the play button for sure. I don't want that shit. Smash it, pussy. Maybe. Sell you the dirty play button 350. 350's, if that's real, that's the best offer I've gotten, Frostzilla. Do book writing advice. Here's the best writing advice you will ever get, whether you want to accept it or not. You cannot edit a blank page. So if you're in the middle of writing and you feel like, I'm not on my game today, my writing is shit today, it doesn't fucking matter. You keep writing through the writer's block, you write through the bad feelings, and then later when you feel better, you can edit the shit you wrote to make it better. It's far better to have a shitty first draft than to have literally nothing at all because you didn't feel in the mood. That's the best advice I can give. You can always edit the bad shit you wrote. You can't edit a blank page. You still haven't made that video about your 1,000-page Greek myth fanfic. One day, and yeah, I think it's about 1,000 pages. It's 2 separate books. Maybe I'll sell them for 99 cents. You guys could read them yourselves. I listened to the PCP review of the Triflers yesterday, and it made me want to buy the book. Is that the one where Endless Jess said he was watching wrestling while just skimming the pages of the book, and then he thought he could give me actual critique? Yeah, great. Read more, you filthy cuck? Maybe in 3 months when I finally have a night where I don't want to kill myself again. $150 in a cum tribute final offer. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I can. That's pretty good. I don't know, that's pretty good. When's the next stream? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. You expect the streamer to know when he's gonna stream next? My gnome offer still stands. It's taken me years to get 250 pages. How did you write 1,000? I wrote the 1,000-page story when I was 14. And I mean, you can't drive when you're 14. And I lived in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't have any neighbors. So what? I go home, I do my homework, and then I just fucking write my book. It didn't even take that long. Endless Jess, more like I live with my mom, Jess. I thought he was homeless now. But I guess I don't follow the lore. I'm super serial about that play button 350. Where should I send it? Don't send it yet. Don't send it yet. I'm going to do a proper... we'll do like a proper thing so that everybody gets a fair shot at it. But right now, consider yourself the front runner. And it'll probably be like a PayPal thing. Would you say The Triflers is your best work? My brother has it, but I haven't read it yet. Probably. Right now, it's the only book I have available to the public, so I guess by definition, it's my best work. $200 and a lock of Mr. Sharp Yeti's hair for the play button. J Bills, if you can get me a lock of Sharp Yeti's hair, I want a lock of Yeti's hair, Kenna's hair. I want some of the trash from the garbage can that the dad threw at Kenna. And I want Yeti's personal copy of Spyro 1. If you can get me those 4 things, I will give you the play button. I'll give you $20 and some toys for Blaze. What's the deal with that other book which cannot be mentioned? Well, the way I see it, there are two parties involved in that book that might be interested in removing it from the face of existence. I'm not going to say which party, if either, so you guys can use your imagination and figure out what happened. That's all I'll say. That's all I can say. Trust me, if I could say things, I would say them. Am I the type of guy to hold things back when I don't have to? You guys know better than anybody. I say things that I shouldn't even say about myself. This is just one of those things where I can't. You guys can guess. J Bills is going on a treasure hunt to get all the Yeti stuff. List off the PCP members you still like right now. Ben, Nate, Munchie, Tom. I don't really know Mage at all, but I don't dislike Mage. That's probably about it. What am I drinking? Water. Look, ooh, yeah. Ah! Delicious water. You'll send me a goose? That's a good deal. Real offer $250. Some guy offered $350. Get real. He's like 13 hours away. You failed. Hey, J Bills, you got time. If he's 13 hours away, then send it to me in 13 hours. What about Davu? What about Davu? What do you mean? I made my list, didn't I? Are you, Rusty and Emp, ever gonna create a 2.0 of State of the YouTube? Rusty and I, starting next year, are going to start a new podcast that we'll hopefully do every week. And Emp Lemon has promised to show up once in a while to talk about his poop. So I guess that'll kind of be State of the YouTube 2.0, but I think Rusty wants to call it the Trash Rats Podcast. So, sounds like fun. But yeah, in case you don't see through the memes, Rusty, Emp, and I we're all still good friends, and I was just hanging out with them in October. So, we have this thing where we like to talk endless shit about each other and accuse each other of horrible crimes on social media because it's very funny. Real question, have you ever thought of doing a meetup or even in the Chicago area? Oh, J-Bills, you live in Chicago? Shit, you're not too far away. We should hang out. If I can think of, like, something that I could do as a live show that would be entertaining for an hour, like maybe some sort of mini, like, Wheel of Punishment live show, and me and Biggs, you know, perform it in front of an audience of like 30 people. I could see myself doing a show in Chicago. That's the biggest city near me, I think. And maybe we'll go up to there's some city in Minnesota that seems to have a dense population. Maybe we'll do a Midwest tour. Wheel of Punishment on the road. How's your day been so far, Mr. Jones? I made over $100 today doing non-internet things, so it's been a pretty good day. Pretty successful day at work. Come to Ohio. I actually, this next summer, I would like to do like a fan meetup at Cedar Point, because I went to that amusement park when I was a lad, and I thought it was great and fun, and I think it'd be great to go there again with a whole bunch of people. So, if anybody wants to go to Cedar Point in Ohio, they've got the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster as of 12 years ago, the Top Thrill Dragster. It just goes up and back down. It doesn't last very long. Reconcile with Asperger and Digibro? Hey, what am I, a magician? What do you think? What am I supposed to do? There's literally nothing I can do. It'll take them to have a shred of humanity and decency, which I don't think will happen. Reconcile with Sai? I don't think me and Sai have any problems. He just doesn't do anything anymore. I still want to make a video about Sai's YouTube career. And I feel like everybody would expect it to be like a roast-a-thon, but I wanted to approach it as objectively as possible, because I think it genuinely is for anybody aspiring to be a YouTuber, I think it's a very important story to hear. That sometimes your dream job can become like a nightmare. And that's what happened to Sai. And he realized he hated the thing that he was popular for, and the things that he had passion for, nobody gave a shit about. And I think really detailing that story might be a wake-up call for people who think that this sort of thing should be their career. So maybe I'll make that, and I'll just have to hold back on making fun of him. You aren't that far from Chicago? No, I'm like 3-4 hours from Chicago. I'm over in Ames, Iowa. It was mostly shitty top 10s and did you knows anyway. Yeah, but if you're making if you have a video series that consistently is getting over 500,000 views every episode, I mean, that's amazing. You gotta pursue that shit even if you hate making them. You got fucking gold. You got gold. You gotta do what some of those prestige actors do. It's the idea of you do one for them and one for me. You make one prestige, boring Oscar bait movie to really show your craft as an actor. And then you do some summer blockbuster cape shit garbage that the normies will enjoy. Psy did not want to make that compromise of this week make a video that'll get views, and this week make your stupid fucking anime review that nobody wants. He only wanted to do the one that he liked, and that's why his career failed. And it's a fucking lesson people need to hear. How long have you been streaming? A little less than 2 hours. If you could change anything about the Triflers, what would it be? Buddy, I have not read it myself in over 2 years. If I read it right now, I would probably be surprised by most of the content. Is Jackie hot, Mumkey? In a crazy way, yes. You guys know I'm a sucker for that pale skin with dark hair. Reconcile with Rich Alvarez. Why? He gave up. He hasn't made a video in like half a year. Rich Alvarez's channel, if you go look at it, it's so sad. He's been doing a Kickstarter for half a year now because he wants to make a medieval short film in the style of Game of Thrones. And he's asking for like $5,000. And like every week, he'll do a 30-minute live stream begging his viewers to donate to the Kickstarter. And it's like not even at 40%. And each of the live streams gets like half-life of views. And this is a channel with like 130,000 subs, and his 5 most recent videos have less than 1,000 views each. Because he's just begging people to donate to some fucking stupid movie. Come on! Come on! Yeah, that's the stupid Mario Brothers guy. Reconcile with Rice Krispie Man. No! He knows what he did. He talks shit about my mother-in-law. Remember that time the grandson of Marlene Glish was hitting on your GF? Oh boy, do I. Do I have a Brad emoji still? Where's that at? Where's my Brad emoji? There it is. Yeah. Re-upload Mumkey and Manimal movie missions. I don't know if I have that. That might be lost to time. Maybe it's up on... Somebody posted all my videos to BitChute. Maybe it's on there. I don't know. Rich Alvarez isn't even at 130K. He used to be. He's probably lost a shit ton because nobody wants to watch him beg for money. Write another book? Yeah, one of these days. Did you hear that Daddy Derek went AWOL? What does that mean? Des Moines, Iowa. That's about 20 minutes south of here. Re-upload the Vincent and Dwayne trilogy. I mean, are those videos not up anymore? When I'm reviewing them, those are up, aren't they? Somewhere. Get that book going now. I got some other shit I'm doing. Are you going to be alone on Christmas, or is family restored? Yeah, I'll probably be going home for Christmas. I tried to find Mumkey and Manimal movie missions on Google, and I found foreign porn. Ew. Oh boy. What happened to your video about Spankwire? It got Susaned along with the rest of my shit. Rich Alvarez has 130,000 subs but only manages to get 300 views on each video. That's because they're just live streams begging for money and nobody wants to watch that shit. Make a sex tape sequel. Next time I have sex, I'll fucking film it and we'll see if it magically ends up online again. You guys can find it yourselves. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I send you my best wishes and a happy holidays, my dude. Well, thank you, J Bills. If it was up to me, I wouldn't celebrate it either, but, you know, family's got a family. Do a collab with Joe Mama. You and me should go to Adventureland someday. Yeah, I used to work at Adventureland, so it kind of lost the charm. It makes me sad that Anime Spectrum is still up and Movie Missions is gone. Those were recorded on a snowball microphone with everybody like sitting halfway across the room. They sound like fucking garbage. I'm a Muslim, so yeah, my ass doesn't celebrate that or can't really. Is it morally justifiable to murder somebody for spelling your name wrong? I'd say so. That's probably fair. Collab with AVGN. I've been invited to collab with one of the people who took over his channel. I don't watch any of it, but I guess like 99% of the AVGN channel's content is like a bunch of schlubby weird dudes who... Man, what happened, man? How did he let a bunch of random fucking people take over his channel? I don't know. But one of those guys reached out to me. I don't remember which one. No, it wasn't Mike. I unironically love and miss Asperger. I feel like the only one. I'm sure if he started posting shit again, thousands of people would still watch it. He just has to stop being a fucking pussy. No, it's not Larry Bundy Jr. I know who that is. And Larry Bundy Jr. did not take over AVGN's channel. What were they thinking? James Rolfe doesn't care anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I like Larry Bundy Jr. He said he would do an episode of the Mumkey Jones interview show with me, but then I just stopped doing that show. Collab with Donald J. Trump. Sounds like he might be looking for work soon, so maybe. Doug Walker took over AVGN's channel. Oh, wow. How come Rusty Cage has more subs than Doug Walker? Oh, we won. Twitch deletes links now. That's probably for the best if you're posting links, demon. Mumkey, is it true that I'm gay and retarded? Unfortunately, yes. Nothing we can do. Remember that Friends intro edit that I did for you? Yeah, I think I still have that on my computer. Did you make that? I think that's still around somewhere. Searching. Well, if it's on here, I don't know where it's at. I actually saw Doug Walker at a water park, no joke. I'm so glad you let us all know. That's a great story. Well, we just hit 2 hours and I don't know. That's a depression chamber for tonight, folks. Expect a new video within like a week. And then we'll do a Vincent the Atheist Christmas special video on Christmas. And the Mumkey and Big Show should start posting Let's Plays again